Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Bio. Just here with Crypto Copy 365. And man, a lot of stuff is going on out there. I wanted to really make this YouTube channel to one, just basically communicate with people about cryptocurrency and what's going on in the marketplace with it. And also just give people a background on, the type of writing that I'm going to be doing with this new economy, because it's an emerging technology, and there's a lot of things that people are afraid about. They're just totally uncertain about it. But I wanted to be the person to communicate in layman's terms a lot of what's going on, but also kind of process it with the layering of my intelligence, the way that I think. Somebody who's into a lot of fitness, a lot of practical things. I look at myself as a holistic person, mind, body, and spirit. And I like to approach topics and ideas like thinking like a billionaire. A billionaire is able to hold two concepts that are opposite and at the same time look at both sides of an argument and try to really understand what's the reality or the truth of something. So that's what I do with Mind State. And so, there's a lot of news right now. I'm going to show you here if you can see. This is the news just now put up like this 5 hours ago. Bitcoin might soon face tougher regulations in Europe. 3 big reasons the Bitcoin bubble could pop soon. Bull market breather. Bitcoin retreats after run on 20K. That's 20,000 per Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? Everything you need to know. Bitcoin's wild volatility could soon start shaping other markets. Analysts who predicted Bitcoin's rise now sees it hitting what? 300,000. Wow. So, we've had all kinds of things going on in terms of speculation and stuff like that. And like right here, Bitcoin Mania lifts rival coins to record highs. So this is what's going on in the marketplace. And the way I see it is it's almost like, there's a lot of these companies that are coming out, they're cryptocurrency companies, and you don't know whether they're legitimate or not, or whether they have the wherewithal to really stand their ground in the marketplace. And it's like, I think there's a lot of pump and dump going on. But what's crazy about this, though, is the pump and dump is fueled by social media. So now you have, like, instead of Wall Street where people would call people and be like, hey, like the Wolf of Wall Street, talk someone into getting this stock and things like that. Now you got people that are on YouTube that have all these wild thumbnails and everything like that. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are pump and dump or anything like that. I'm just bringing awareness to the marketplace. I'm just an observer with my own, analysis of what I see going on in order to position myself correctly, but also help the people that I know, my clients, position themselves correctly and really understand what it is. So when I see it, I'm like, okay, this is very strange. I mean, clickbait is one thing, because we all want to get views on our videos and all that kind of stuff. But then I'm seeing some other patterns that are happening that are pretty crazy. So let's take a look at this a little bit. So like, here's a guy that I've been following a little bit, a guy named Ryan Hildreth, crypto and stock investor, serial entrepreneur, affiliate marketer, and he's got some crazy, some wild and bold thumbnails about all kinds of stuff. Now again, I'm not saying or denying that everything he could be saying could be completely honest and truthful from himself, but I'm just bringing awareness to the fact that what we have to do is we have to look at all of these, and we have to listen to the YouTuber or the person out. And I'm going to show you in a second why you may not even have to listen to a certain level of communication in the cryptocurrency world. You may be able to advance to another level of communication. This to me is like almost like a trader level market of communication, where it's like kind of like the noise of CNBC or CNN, where people are just talking about all these things going on every second. And then you have like the Warren Buffetts of the world who, they buy and hold stocks and stuff. So like, we just transfer that to the cryptocurrency world. Here's another one that I've been seeing that's been here. This guy has been all over the place. I mean, you can see, the thumbnails, like, they're just like terror, shock, humor. It's almost like a cartoon. It's crazy. It's wild. But now what I'm starting to realize though, with all of this, like here, look at this one. This one was funny. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. This is, I think it was a bear. I can't really find it. I don't know where it was. But anyway, so this is just getting to a point where now Mania is producing Maniacs. Mania is producing Maniacs. Now, the thing about it that I want to warn people about is that, like, it's not necessarily, everybody has a right to do whatever they want to do in a free open marketplace. That's the whole crazy thing about blockchain technology. With a distributed ledger, all of these cryptocurrencies are emerging everywhere, and people, there's no regulation, so you don't have to worry about you don't. But the unfortunate thing is that, you know, people also are not going to be as truthful maybe as they should be, and you don't know because it's not regulated. So there's challenges with that. But the good thing is that in the regulated world where it's centralized with the banks and the government and everything, they've been scamming us for year after year. So it's kind of like, I'll take a little bit of this nonsense and this maniac mania if I can keep my mind on the prize of what this technology has produced in the marketplace and what it's really doing. So check this out. So this guy here, so I was following his videos for a little while. Mind you, I mean, only for the past like couple of weeks have I really been digging in deep and really following some of these people. Listen, there's the one, the long-term Bitcoin bear market, you know. So, you know, I've been following these people, right? So then earlier today, I just saw one that really caught my attention. I don't know why I didn't spot this sooner. But this guy right here claims he got hacked for 111 Bitcoins. So if you do the calculation, that's a little over $1 million worth of Bitcoins. But like, if you look at the video and the way that he's
something set me off to make me say, okay, I need to get my Bitcoin off of here. And I'm trying to think what it was. I'll have to go back and watch the live. But something happened to on my, oh, you know what it was? In the live stream, people were saying your YouTube name isn't the same. Your YouTube name isn't saying Trevon James. It says something crazy. So I'm like, I seen one person say, and I thought somebody just wanted some attention, so I ignored them. And then a few moments later, somebody else asked. Somebody said, "Why your YouTube name changed?" So I go in there and check it, and my YouTube name is like, it's like saying something weird there. So I said, "Oh, that's my Gmail. My YouTube account is my very, like, you know, that's the account I protect the best. It has the best protection on it. So I knew if that account was compromised, my Gmail was compromised, and my coins were in a bad place. So I went to my Exodus and I tried sending the coins to my Coinbase to get them off of my wallet, and I just started sending 10 Bitcoin at a time. And then once I waited for a few seconds to see if they got the Coinbase, they weren't showing up in Coinbase. And you know, Coinbase, as soon as you send them, it pops up in their pending. And that worried me for a second. So I just was chilling for a little while, waiting for it to hit the Coinbase. And then I refreshed my wallet, opened it up, I closed it, and I opened it back up, and it said 390 Bitcoin. So I'm like, yo, I thought it was a good glitch. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking like something crazy happened and a bunch of Bitcoin, my wallet got switched with somebody else's or something like that, and I got this huge number of Bitcoin. So I tried to send the Bitcoin out again, and it didn't work. So then I went to the Exodus Slack, and I said, can somebody help me? My wallet, my coins aren't sending. And so I hit the refresh, and they said hit the refresh on the thing. So I hit it, and it said 396 again. So I closed the wallet and opened it up, and then it hit refresh, and it still said 396. Then I hit refresh again, and it said 0. And when it said 0, it showed like this. It showed exactly like this. 111 sent out, and that's how I knew it. Well, it's gone. They hacked it. But they left me my Litecoin. They left my Litecoin. I got some Litecoin in here. But yeah.
Okay, so now I went back and looked at the beginning of this guy's videos, and he was doing like a part-time job for like $9 or $10 an hour. and apparently, got into Bitcoin very early, and then, the Bitcoin took off, and other cryptocurrencies he had over $1 million. Just said here that he lost 111 Bitcoin. Someone hacked his YouTube by getting on the telephone and calling the telephone company and getting his email and his keys and public and private keys or whatever, and lost 111 Bitcoin. And that would be the equivalent of $1 million from someone who was only making like $9 or $10 an hour in the beginning. And he's like giggling and laughing about it. Now, I would like to believe that such an individual is so enlightened and has reached the pinnacle of consciousness and awareness that the dollar and the bills and the currency no longer has any pull or sway on his emotional fortitude and character, and he's a Zen-like being who's sent here throughout the world to teach us how to invest in cryptocurrency. I want to believe that. I want to believe that, but my New York training and my world knowledge and knowledge of human nature doesn't allow me to fall into that belief. So then I was thinking to myself, like, people say that this platform BitConnect, is tied into like network marketing and it's like that, and the certification. By the way, the certification I have on the YouTube there, that certification is something that'll move you from not knowing anything to knowing something. I never would claim that anything that, like that, like is certifying you to do anything other than have the knowledge that you know that you didn't know before, right? So that's why I have it on my page there. And I logged into the BitConnect, and we don't know about a lot of these things, but I just want to assure the people that know me, I realize that some of these guys I've showed you, they have BitConnect and all these accounts. I want you to know that, I'm observing this thing with a very watchful eye as well, and I'm learning and trying to see who all these movers and shakers are, what are these companies, what are the different cryptocurrencies, and what's going on. So to make a long story short, he says it got hacked, and then he has another video where he's talking about the truth. Now, there's a lot of YouTubers who are coming on and saying, oh no, what happened was this guy and a couple other guys, they actually sold out the Bitcoin or cashed out the Bitcoin for dollars, and then they're just trying to hide from the IRS and all kinds of craziness. Here's my wisdom on it. Here's what I think about it. I think that, number one, cryptocurrency is about freedom. Cryptocurrency is not something that you want to be all over YouTube showing your accounts and the amounts. It's like, would you take your bank account right now as it is and show like your Chase account, your Wells Fargo account, your Bank of America account? Would you just take that and put it on the internet and show all of that, show every single stock asset that you have? Like money and assets and things like that are something I think that if you have a position and you could say a percentage of what that position of it is that you hold to the public. But why would you show the exact amounts and stuff like that, especially with something as volatile as cryptocurrency, where people can try to peck away at your social media empire and find passwords and keys and all kinds of things like that, right? So what we have here is like almost an indication that like it's really like a pump and dump type of scenario where people are really just riding the wave up and hyping and hyping and hyping. And, a lot of ignorant people maybe look at it and say, well, I could just sit around the house and look up some stock charts and I could just jump into this Bitcoin thing, but they're not thinking about the future of the technology. And the other thing that's very telling is this. Let me show you something else here, if I can find it. Okay, so this is another guy that somebody took a video of these other guys that this guy was with, and he made a joke that the guy cashed out, right? Because the guy,
this is Craig reporting the hack,
had a video of himself like dancing and stuff like that. So, like, this is just craziness. Now we're getting into the Mania and the Maniacs. It's just crazy. So even if you did cash out, So even if you did cash out, that's not the purpose of cryptocurrency. The whole point is that the dollar is volatile and shaky, and you want to diversify your assets, gold, silver, cryptocurrency, land, real estate, you know, so that you can basically hedge yourself from the craziness that's going on with the government and the banking system and what they're doing with the fiat currency and the dollar. So it's not really anything to be like getting all this euphoria and mania about, and a lot of people are leading people kind of astray with that confusion. What I wanted to do was show you that, like, don't get caught up in that confusion, and don't let it sway you from being in the thick of this and learning this market and being here, because we need to be here for sure, and I'm about to show you why in a second. But we need to be learning about cryptocurrencies. We need to be learning about the blockchain. We need to be learning about distributed ledgers. We need to be understanding, you know, how to transfer, how to trade, how to lend, how to earn Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. You know, what is that all about, and how will it all work? Because even if it is a bubble and it comes down, always keep in mind the technology has already been founded. The technology is already moving forward. So, you know, whatever position you take in all of these things, that's another thing. But, you know, this process. Now, here's another one. This, oh man, this kid. So he's like on YouTube. He went to the bank, pulls out $20,000, and he's like, I want to see a tangible, you know, I guess it would be like a receipt of the Bitcoin cryptography. Like he wants to buy one Bitcoin, right? Obviously, it's not a physical coin, but it's going to be some kind of cryptography on a receipt from someone he found on Craigslist. And you can just see him here, right here in the.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? Calling about the Bitcoin?
Yeah, so what do you need? I mean, I can pretty much fill any order.
So we're just looking to get one Bitcoin right now. We have cash with us, so I mean, what are you looking for on top of it? I guess that's just the better question, so we can cut to the chase.
Why don't you guys just buy through like Coinbase or something?
So the reason why we can't buy through Coinbase is we have a $15,000 limit, and we want to get one whole Bitcoin. It's just for a project we're working on. That's kind of why we're doing the Craigslist route.
Yeah, I typically charge 5% over spot. A lot of guys charge 10, but just 5% is fine.
That'd be perfect. We have cash, but to make both of us feel a little more secure, since, I mean, it's kind of like a higher transaction, could we meet at a police station inside? I know it sounds a little different, but you know, I just want to make sure we both feel comfortable, because this is a lot of cash here, and this is a Bitcoin.
We can meet up at a bank.
Just to be totally honest here, like, I don't know how secure a bank lobbies is, and I mean, banks are pretty much closed after 6. Normally, I would say Starbucks, but we're dealing with like a high-profile currency, so.
I mean, I've done bigger deals. Just, I mean, since we wouldn't do it tonight anyway, let's just talk about it tomorrow then.
All right, yeah. Is there any way you could do it tonight, or would you want to do it in the morning?
Yeah, probably can't do it tonight. I've got dinner and stuff, so it'll most likely be tomorrow.
All right, we'll let you know then. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, man. All right, bye. So pretty much he wants to do it at like a Starbucks. No one's really down to do it at a police station, but I'm not gonna lie, like, this will not be happening at a Starbucks. We're at the Wells Fargo.
Something like that.
Thanks.
Send. Okay, there you go.
Here we go. We just got a Bitcoin. Let's walk, let's walk. He was so chill, we didn't even get charged a 5% fee.
Yeah, no, literally.
Okay, so he goes and he buys this Bitcoin or whatever, right? So, you know, you see like some of these guys, their YouTube channels. I mean, we get into a point where it's informative and it's telling you a lot about what's going on in the marketplace, which I think there's some value in what a lot of these guys are doing.
So we just came up with this idea. We're here at Chase right now,
but at the same time, like, you have to decide, like, what are you going to do as far as
a physical Bitcoin? I know there's,
you know, the action
that exists.
What is the action to take from the knowledge of all of this? You know, what is the point of following along and learning from all of this information that's out in the marketplace? Or are you just going to avoid it? See, the thing is, if you just bury your head in the sand and you don't pay any attention to it, then what I'm going to show you next also is going to be like, you won't even know about it, because you won't even have known that, would you believe it, that the blockchain technology is now almost about to be obsolete already. See, this is the crazy stuff. So let me show you something here. Well, before I get to that, You know, you also have like anarchists, a lot of people that are just off, like, you know, in different countries and different things that just, you know, are really trying to lead people to freedom from any type of banking centralized cartel or government control and everything that's super regulated. So you have people reporting from all over the world and things like that. You know, and this one is like the dollar vigilante. Okay, but so here's the one that really got me today. This is December 18th. This is today. And so what I'm starting to get to is that if we're going to be learning about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and investing, it's going to be about sound education, because all of that cartoonish clickbait hype, people that are trading by the minute and stuff like that, oh, I just made $500 with Bitcoin and all this stuff, that's where you start losing, because now you're following people who are not really talking about the technology, they're not really talking about the advancement, they're not really talking about the principles of freedom in that sense. They're not really talking about enlightenment or education or intelligence or a higher consciousness or a higher awareness or a higher application. They're just talking about making more dollars, which obviously we know is the whole problem. That's why we're, you know, learning about cryptocurrency, and that's why this whole economy is forming, is because the dollars are the printing of the dollars is untrustworthy. So we're trying to create this distributed ledger where there's so many different copies of the transactions that are happening that no centralized government can destroy it. So now we have Mike Maloney, who's been covering gold and silver and talking about the coming crash of the dollar and all this stuff, and he's interviewed a guy about Hashgraph. Hashgraph is like thousands of times faster than the transactional verification or consensus of the distributed ledger on the blockchain. So what that's going to mean is that as soon as there's a currency built on Hashgraph, it's going to blow Bitcoin out of the water. It hasn't even been developed yet. But I definitely highly recommend you go to this video here, From Bitcoin to Hashgraph, The Crypto Revolution, Hidden Secrets of Money, Mike Maloney, episode 8. And he is, I like what he had there about, you know, he has the Byzantine. He talks about basically how, like, you know, a Byzantine general would have had an army attacking from 4 different levels. How would he verify that the correct message got to all of his troops? And he likened that to the nodes of computers that are on a distributed ledger network, and how that all, and he builds a great graphical and visual foundation for you to understand, first of all, what blockchain was if you didn't know what that was and how that's working, and then the transition into Hashgraph and what that's going to mean, how they had like a voting system, and the speed and the accuracy has been verified for so many years, but it just hadn't been implemented, and then what that could mean, right? So, you know, and then that goes on into, you know, is Hashgraph technology just hype, and can it really dethrone blockchain? So you have people debating about that, and then you also have, yeah, I wanted to put this up here because as we look, you know, a lot of people are looking at artificial intelligence, because a lot of that is connected to how people are going to be interacting with the blockchain, with these ledgers, with Hashgraph and all this other stuff, wearable technology, the Internet of Things. You know, so basically I just wanted to make this video to bring people back to sort of a centralized understanding, because for me as a writer, I'm more of a thinker. Like, I'm more of observing what's going on so I can understand what to tell my friends and family and colleagues and associates about what I've learned about this technology and how to approach it, how to deal with it. And one of the biggest deceptions is going to be social media, because it's not like the stock market when they just call you and they say, hey, you know, I've got this great stock, and stockbrokers are trying to sell stocks like Boiler Room. It's going to be in your face, people saying that they just made $1 million. People saying that they made $500,000. They lost $1 million. And, you know, it's going to numb the marketplace to the point where people are just going to think it's all too volatile and too risky to even be involved with. But you got to find the right education so that you don't get swept up into that. So take a look at this video, From Bitcoin to Hashgraph. I think it's probably No, I don't even say probably. It's the best video I've seen on all of this since that I've been investigating this and learning more about it. So take a look at that video. This is where I'm at right now. And tomorrow, with the way this world is going, it could change. But this is where I am right now. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm thinking about. Talk to you later.